hopefully a lot of us are listening and that we do look for better ways and we evolve as people.
My vision would turn your world upside down, tear asunder your illusions, and send the sanctuary of your own ignorance crashing down around you. Now ask yourself, are you really ready to see that vision?
Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a movie review for you. Now, as always, for movie reviews, I go ahead and actually see if it's just for the target audience, fans of that particular genre, or if it's even meant for the casual streamer. Today, we've got a military drama by the name of All Quiet on the Western Front. If you think you've heard that title before, you're probably right. It's based on the 1929 novel of the same name by uh, Eric Remarque. I probably murdered that name. I apologize because it's actually well known. It's a well known book. It was adapted into a film in 1930 and again in 1979. The book sold over 2.5 million copies in its first 18 months in print. Think about that. Two and a half in 18 months. And that was way back in 1929. It was largely an anti war book due to showing the horrors of war, the mental, psychological, and physical toll that war took on German soldiers from World War I. And also the callous approach by those in command that had for their frontline soldiers fighting against. It also went in and actually showed a callous approach to those in command and how they had very little regard for frontline soldiers fighting for the leader's ideas, pride, and reputations. Probably not difficult to believe that this book was actually banned in Nazi Germany, most likely to censor the realistic and detrimental look the book gave to war. Okay? So that's a little bit all about All Quiet on the Western Front in case you've actually heard that before. The fact that front lines going from the English Channel to Switzerland did not change over the 4 years of World War One. 3 million soldiers died on the Western Front, having never gained more than a few meters of territory either way. So all of that is to give you a broad sense of what All Quiet on the Western Front is really portraying when it's looking at war. So if you were thinking about that, this is a general regular war movie that kind of idealizes or really celebrates war, it's actually the opposite. It is a film that really hits your senses and all your mentals, and it holds nothing back. So, what is the film and the book about? The story follows teenagers Paul Baumer and his friends Albert and Mueller, who voluntarily enlist in the German army, riding a wave of patriotic fervor that quickly dissipates once they face the brutal realities of life on the front. Paul's preconceptions about the enemy and the rights and wrongs of the conflict soon crumble. However, amid the countdown to armistice, Paul must carry on fighting until the end with no purpose other than to satisfy the top brass's desire to end the war on a German offensive. So, when you're looking at what you can compare All Quiet on the Western Front to, it's really people that are fans of war movies that are set in early 20th century, like Saving Private Ryan, Fury, Inglorious Bastards, those types of movies that really kind of come back to that it's modern warfare, but still not with lasers and drones. These are men boots on the field, tanks, some very rudimentary weapons. The threat of nuclear bomb is not there yet, but airplanes are existing, machine guns, and just visceral fighting tactics. So if you're a fan of those types of movies, that's where you're really going to, that's who they're going for in this particular film. The first thing to go ahead and actually really think about in this movie is that this is not meant for anybody who has PTSD. Things like death, gunshots, stabbings, everything associated with a real warfare is on display here. Obviously, this is not for kids either. I wouldn't suggest showing this to anybody under the age of, say, 14. I think you need to at least be in high school to take this in because it is brutal. It's so yeah. Warning for anybody who has PTSD in regards to death or war or anything of that nature. It's not going to be for them. Second, the second thought process on this is that this is very well produced and well acted. Felix Kramer is Paul Balmer, the main protagonist in this story, and Albert Stalt is Stan Kaczynski. And they were both excellent in their roles. The transformation of like the exuberant war volunteers to the shock of war, to battling to be humane, to just following soldiers' orders is also glaring to see. You see them progress as far as these wide-eyed teenagers to the battle-hardened men that they come, and you follow that in this 2 hour and 33 minute drama where it doesn't drag. Like you really think that this movie is going to drag on a little bit. Like Saving Private Ryan, that's a movie that while it was very good and well acted or what have you, there were parts where you could be like, they didn't really need this. Every bit of All Quiet on the Western Front is there's a purpose to it. Even the down times, there's things that you feel in there that are purposeful. Not to say that it wasn't in Private Ryan or uh, and Inglorious Bastards or what have you. Everything had, filmmakers had purpose to it, but here, even the down times play such a significant role in this, and the way that they act in here is very good. Paul is a soldier that we kind of follow throughout this whole war setting, and we get all the view of the landscapes, the brutality, cold truth, the fight over your ideologies between the various soldiers, between leaders, all this kind of stuff and what it does mean to be a soldier, a patriot, and a human being. Because you can see all of these people struggle with that throughout this film. And it's some people are they're almost like one dimensional, like this is who I am. There's other people who the war has made them that way, and then there's other people that they progress and they change over time. The action and the sets are top notch as we kind of feel the victories when they're there and the defeats when they happen, they tear your heart out because you're just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening to these folks. And it's mostly the combatants of the Germans and the French. So seeing what they go through and the ebbs and tides of it all, just it's brutal. It's visceral, and you come to the what they really want you to come through, and the verdict on that is you get there. The filmmaker makes you want to go ahead and actually see a particular perspective. And I'm sure that's what the author of the book did, and they get you there, whether you want to be there or not. Well, let me tell you exactly how they go and actually get you there in the verdict. So ultimately, my verdict for All Quiet on the Western Front for fans, and I say fans very loosely, but people that are admirers of war stories, that are people that really immerse themselves in that type of stuff, as well as mainstream audiences, casual viewers, casual streamers that are looking for a movie. This is a must watch for both types. I will say this is not, I will say this up front, it's not something that you're going to want to watch more than once. If you could watch this more than once, you are a different breed. Maybe you're looking for something else or what have you, but I can only stand to watch this movie one good time. Pay attention to everything, take it all in, and then I don't want to watch it again. It's so visceral, it's so real, it's so deep, it's so emotional that it's not something that you should want to dip your soul into multiple times. It is a watch it good and feel it. This lacks the um, satirical take like Inglorious Bastards, or doesn't even have the hope or the resolve of Saving Private Ryan. This movie is a hardcore look at why we should not invoke wars. No matter your thoughts on wars, you'll come out agreeing that we need to find better ways. This movie does a good job of relaying that message to you, showing the futility of war, And I think the ultimate message that they're telling us here is we need to find a different way. Hopefully, a lot of us are listening and that we do look for better ways and we evolve as people. So that's what I actually have for All Quiet on the Western Front. If you stayed this long, I appreciate you. I continue to do these reviews because I get to watch some movies or series that I usually don't watch. And this was actually a good one, but difficult one to do. So if you like this, click like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. And until my next review, take care of yourselves.
Es wird irgendwas kommen. Du musst jetzt tapfer sein. Für die, die es nicht geschafft haben. Für uns alle.